Hi! We are Apochromatic Unlimited. We are here to elevate BIPOC voices. We are amazing. We love rolling dice, having fun, and being phenomenal. That's us. Today we are playing a little something called Court of Blades. I'm Leona. I play Vidya Almari, aka Sparrow, who is the key playbook in this Court of Blades, and I am going to pass it on to another player so they can introduce themselves. And lastly, we will introduce our GM. Logan, would you like to go next?
Sure, I would love to go next. Hello, my name is Logan, also known as Logan the GM. I am playing Vincent. He is a hawk, so anyone who's playing along at home, you can go ahead and look at your playbook and find out all the fun things I can do. I'll just say I also have a raven named Cecilia, and she is awesome. I will pass it on over to Max.
Hello, I am Max. I play Briar, who is a Bravo. If we're gonna share playbooks, expecting everyone to look them up, I actually hope that they do. That would be really cool. And I will pass it to Taylor.
Hello, I'm Taylor. I am playing Babs the Couth, who I am attempting to find my character sheet because for some reason I can't. But look it up, and you'll know more than I do currently about what my playbook can do.
There you go.
And then Paul.
Hey everybody, I'm Paul. I'm going to be our storyteller because I keep my masters in other locations. And I will be taking us on this wild ride. But before we get into in character, you guys get rewards because you completed your last story arc.
That's right.
So it's time to level up. Because we're only doing a handful of episodes, everybody, don't expect... I'm not just giving XP. I'm basically getting everybody enough XP to buy another dot in one of the attributes of their choice and get another, power out of their playbook. So let's take a few moments to do that.
Look, I was smart and I saved it to my desktop so I wouldn't lose it. And what did I do? Lose it.
Don't you love that search key? So yeah, everybody gets to add something to their character. I hope you had something picked out. If nothing, don't suffer decision paralysis. We're on the clock here, people. Time is money.
Wait,
money is time.
Wait, you said
and
another
effort and
ability
things.
and what else?
Another ability and a dot and an attribute. So you can
Thank you.
increase one of your attributes to 3, increase an attribute to 2, buy a brand new attribute. So
I'm gonna increase my sway to 3 because that sounds like
Sway.
fun.
Well, I mean, you have new mommy powers, so you have to like totally invest in swaying people, right?
Yes. I am the mommy.
I'll just increase my skulk, because,
You really want to skulk?
yeah, why not? Let's do that.
You're like, the castrator will creep.
I'm not sure
In the
how I
evening.
feel about that nickname. Like, I accept that it is a thing and people are saying it. However,
You had all the ability to dispute it, and didn't. You leaned into it.
so that's the problem with me, is if you actually start a bit, I am not going to say no to the bit. I will always commit and follow through.
Yeah. And if you've played, people who played under me, with me before, know that I love bits. Like, Taylor has been there for a couple bits, so you'll get a bit and a half. That comes with a nickname and a handful of other things. What are we thinking, Max? What are we leaning on for new Briar powers?
I took a dot in command by the logic
Ooh.
of I might have earned more respect having performed in the tournament.
You did. You did kind of proto-ostracize somebody from society by embarrassing them in a tournament.
Sucks to be a loser.
Sucks to suck, bro.
Sucks to suck! I'm gonna take for my special ability a good name. So when I push myself in social engagements while consorting or swaying, haha, see how that works? I can gain both +1 effect and 1 die instead of
There
one
you
or the
go.
other. Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
So that's
Nice.
nice. So that is what I am doing. I am prepared. I gotta burn some of this stress at some point. I gotta.
I mean, we'll deal with that. We got a little bit of heal before, in between things, because this is a downtime.
Excellent.
I need to remember what some of the... What is sway in comparison to consort?
Sway's
Sway
Vince.
Sway is
And-
convince and people you don't know. Consort is talking with your friends.
That's right. I'm gonna give me some points in sway, since I'm always talking to people that I don't know.
You are the other talky person.
I know, and I
Like,
can't do it
yeah.
unless we got history.
Yeah, now you're doing a little bit better, and you have your older gentleman friend who's not even like an interest in that apartment, who's just a literal buddy.
That's my buddy. I'm also gonna take the ability "Don't make me carry you," where you aid to ignore level 3 harm through yelling abuses or gentle reassurances. You rally a coterie member, allowing them to ignore non-fatal harm and harm penalties as long as you were with them.
There's no
Oh my
reason
God.
to take that though. It's not like you had a character in the last game get lots of harm. So
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I took a gap in the armor. When you survey, you may push yourself to find a weakness in the argument, gesture, or evasion and seize an advantage. Take +1 dice and +1 effect to the next roll that takes advantage of this information. This bonus
There
may
you
be
go.
given to a coterie member.
Wow, there you go. That's a lot of bonuses. That's a lot of bonus.
That's a lot of bonus.
Looks like. Last but not least, guys, what are you taking as your new ability as a group?
Oh no, collective powers. We had
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Oh, we
it's
had
crazy.
No, stuff
We
that
had it
isn't on my
planned,
character sheet on
and
my
I don't
iPad.
remember. There was a
Oh,
second one
no.
we really wanted, but decided to wait.
There was.
And I don't
I remember
what it
this.
was.
I remember this happening. Hold on.
Hold on,
Mhm.
hold on.
I remember. I was
If
there.
this PDF linked, that would have been a lot faster for me. Let's see. Which one did we have? What do we have currently?
You guys took currently. Almar, I'm double checking which one you took currently. Nope, that was not it. I think you took like a hammer, right?
Gain additional XP to this. Name one faction who dares not to go to war with you in the duration of the game. They will not. I don't. Does that?
No.
I think we did
no.
I think we did deadly, right? To give bonuses
Yeah, you
for
did.
the thing.
Deadly.
We did
Mhm.
deadly for
Yeah,
that,
we
and then
did
we were
deadly.
thinking about doing.
I think we were thinking of taking pack tactics or sneering disregard, and the reason why we took deadly first was because we knew that we had
Lots of hunts.
the tournament
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah, the tournament. Yep. So yeah.
Or was it strike fear? Because you knew
Yeah, it
that if
was strike
somebody's
fear.
fucking lying in front of me, that they would be.
You guys took
I
strike
remember
fear
that,
very
okay.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You took strike fear. I will
Well-
say, depending on how crazy the story gets, and you guys stick together, pack tactics could be very useful.
I like pack tactics.
Yeah.
Mostly because
That also bonuses. I was gonna say it goes well with
Yeah.
mine too.
The one I just picked is called the target, where I never suffer a tier of disadvantage when I'm in range combat. So like
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You
we
would like
gotta
all the
start
tier
some shit,
advantages?
y'all.
that's the
Yeah.
goal.
So what does that
That's the
mean?
goal.
Then
So
we
pack
have strike, fear, deadly, and pack tactics.
No,
Or-
you'd have strike fear and pack tactics is the two you would have.
Mm.
You guys didn't pick up deadly. You debated between deadly and strike fear, and Leona convinced everybody that strike fear was the better way to go.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. So go ahead and make some healy rolls that do healy things.
Sorry, I'm just double checking. Are you sure that we did not take deadly last time?
I'm fairly certain
You
you
s-
didn't.
You specifically didn't. I was convinced. I tried to make the argument you guys should take deadly because there were going to be some
Okay.
skirmish rolls, but you
Right.
specifically wanted strike fear because you wanted to double down on the social side of things.
Okay.
And
got it.
because if I remember correctly, Max's character also got a bonus already, so it wasn't going to help too much, and there
Oh, right.
there wasn't a hunt function in the thing, so the hunt part wasn't going to do you much good at the games because there wasn't
I
much
see.
hunting to do at the games.
Got it. Okay,
So-
that rings a bell now. Thank you.
Strike fear and pack tactics are the two you guys have, and I believe we have some rolling to recover from some harms to do because we ended a chapter last time before we start our brand new chapter, which is about to be our because we were at spring and we're about to be in a summer courtesan situation.
It's the season, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
To roll that
Mm-hmm.
storyteller, what do I do? Because I'm hurt.
You are hurt. I mean, there's a whole section on it. Let's go to it in the book, I believe. Coterie XP triggers. Chapter.
Healing
I'm
harm,
going to
page
go-
33.
Thank you, Taylor. You are fast on the draw. I appreciate that. Pew pew. Shot me down, bang bang. That's as much as I can sing for copyright purposes. Bang bang.
Healing harm in between errands is handled by the house's physician or grace. They begin with 2+2d in both tinker and channel. Additional skill in healing is attained when the house advances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 2 harm. Level 3. So you have a level. You took a level 3 harm, if I remember correctly. Did you not, Logan?
Yeah, things happened.
Yep.
It wasn't bad. It just, my clock got almost full, and that would be bad. If
That would have been bad.
That would be bad.
Lesser harm naturally goes away and doesn't require a roll. Nobody suffered any major social harm. I believe stress just goes away between errands. Nobody got to the point of a break, so you can clear your stresses. But I think Logan has a roll here to make.
Okay, I'll roll it. Let's see what happens. See if I
2d6.
recover from wood going through my calf.
Mm-hmm.
How many d6? Just 2?
2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I recovered real good. I got 2 6s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Clear all your ticks on the healing clock for 1 harm. Also, you guys achieve a thing because you get more on your actual clock for your house when you recover from harm.
Well, I am somehow A-okay, and...
No, I feel it was like a healing montage, and it had Briar just yelling words of encouragement the whole time. You know,
yelling at my
like a
leg.
champ.
It's for the
better.
spirit. It's for the spirit.
No, it's straight up just a healing montage. It's like you doing push-ups and then all sorts of things. It just goes the route of every anime healing montage that happens when a protag-kun character gets injured and has to come back in the next arc to fight harder. That's what happened. That's what I'm going with.
I get like a cool robe out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the final countdown played very loudly what was happening, right?
I was like hearing it in my head. So
Yeah.
yes.
But yes. And copyright. All right.
Listen. Okay. Yeah, I'm good there. I'm all.
You are literally good there. That's quite literally what happened. All right, so we got that. That's bang out of the way, and I believe we're moving into the summer season. The seasons do change. The crops start to flourish. The grapes start to get grape-like because last time you guys were in the vineyard, so they're getting grape-like. Everybody's starting to talk about the fact that there's going to be a summer, basically a summer dance, for lack of a better term, because we always have to have our courtly intrigue, and courtly intrigue plays really well at high school dances.
It's a summer festival, basically, right?
Well, we just did a festival. No, it's like summer high court is what it is, where it's very much that high court feel. But I'd say probably a day or two before the escapade starts, there is a messenger at your now 5th in charge. You guys have moved up the ladder of power here. Started from the bottom. You can start the second verse now.
Does that mean we kick Bastion down?
Yes, Bastion is now the lowest ranked house. And you might have made proto enemies out of them, even though the original goal was to make friends. And you're like, nope, that plan went sideways.
Sometimes plans change, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes we team up with their enemies, and we're all friends now. But there is effectively a bonded letter delivered for Briar.
Okay.
And the courier waits patiently for you to basically accept the letter. It is sealed.
Is
with
it
your-
sealed with a crest of any kind or
It
colors?
is sealed with your family crest, your biological family crest.
Are we like together?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I'll let you all determine where you're at, what's going on, and what's happening. I don't need to. I'm just setting the scene of this. There's a guy patiently waiting to give a letter to Briar and doesn't leave until the letter is delivered. If you want to gather your crew before you read your letter, you're happy to do so. If you want to read it in private, you're happy to do so. That's all your character's choice.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it in private first. Then
Okay.
I'll kind of like I'll look at the courier kind of suspiciously, like the side eye, and I'll open it up.
He'll bow and leave after he's delivered the letter. His job is done. He's not here to read it. He does inform you that like the courier's office is in town if you do need to send a response letter, because sometimes that happens when these things happen.
I know where to find them. Thank you.
Do you read it like on the steps of the manor, or do you like go to a private location?
I think I want to step where I'm not like in like immediate view of passersby.
Sure, there's like there you can step right to the foyer in the front part of the manor.
Yeah, there's just like take a seat on the chair or couch of some kind.
There's totally an armoire there to sit on.
Wonderful.
It's really weird. It's like there are a lot of armoires and like love seats and fainting couches here. There's no like everything is very compact if you're sitting with people in this house. I don't know why that is. It's like Omar really likes being close to people.
You never know when someone might faint, and you just have to have a couch available in case that happens.
Yeah, there is a fainting couch in every room. It is important for him. That's part of his vibe. Is fainting couches for sure.
Lots of long chaises and things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine he is somehow putting a fireplace in every room if it is physically possible.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So you break the seal on the letter, and you're not sure if it's like your memory or if it's actually like from the letter where the letter came from when you broke the seal. But that smell of like old books kind of creeps out. And as you open the letter up, you see your mother's handwriting.
Okay.
And it starts off with like your full name, including middle name, initials, all the appropriate pomp and formal circumstance you would see.
Does
and
she
the
last
first-
name me as an Elmari or as a Solier? Like,
she will last name you as an Elmari because you've publicly been accepted into that house. And it starts off with the letters. It starts off with the words, "I have regret to inform you of the passing of your older brother."
oh boy. Okay. I think he starts with like, "I regret to inform you," thinking that like he's just gonna get like fake adult grounded and like shunned for something, and then he gets like to the end of the sentence and is like staring at it and blinks a few times, and then he rubs his eyes and he reads it again to make sure that he has read the words correctly.
It is read correctly.
Okay.
It proceeds to go on. It's real backhandedy, but even for your mother, it's still kind of complimenty. It's like along the lines of, even though you have not excelled at things our house, is known for, we still need your like it basically goes on to be like inform you that you have a choice of being like, hey, you can come back to the house and claim your rightful position now that you're technically firstborn because your older brother's dead. Because you were the second son.
Yes.
Or you can, remain in House Almari as it is your life to choose these things. But, it's very much this, like, you have a choice, but it does play on a level of family guilt. And it is signed your mother in all things with her full name and list of titles.
Isn't there just a collective in our group a sense of guilt from our past?
To everybody but Taylor, yeah.
Yeah. I'm still in it, baby.
We all carry like a portion of the guilt that Taylor's character would have.
Yeah.
Like we all
Taylor's
have
like,
a
what is
little
this
extra.
guilt that you
Like,
you
what?
rich people don't need to stop it with this guilt shit, all right? Because I don't even know what you talking about. I'm here for the cheese, yo.
Yo.
The cheese.
Cock and cheese.
I am immediately going to try to find Fidya.
Sure. What is
Absolutely.
what is Fidia up to? Is Fidia entertaining any guests right now?
Mm, because it's the start of the season, yes, probably. She's doing some schmoozing, trying to, of course, like set us up for good graces.
Is it like social guests or personal guests?
Social guests.
Okay. There's like a minor house, and you're discussing some trade negotiations about some issues with shipping and making sure the lanes are pirate free.
Yes. What was the name of my pet boyfriend?
Oh,
Boyfriend.
it started with a D. What do we make his name?
Oh, God. My pet boyfriend's name
It's been
that I
started
forgot
with-
to write down.
You did. I forgot to write it down. I'm being an
For
awful
sh-
storyteller right now.
for
Apparently,
shame.
Taylor may have written it down.
I might have. I usually write down names, but I don't know if I wrote down his.
It wasn't. It was so like very. It started with a D. I will like. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why did not?
The funny part is we don't have that recording, so we can make it anything we want.
We want. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
What's it?
Damien.
What's it?
Damien?
No, it wasn't Damien. It wasn't Dimitri. It was something along those lines.
Demetrius.
We're gonna call him Dem right now and get back to it because it was. I feel like it started.
Dominic? Dimitri?
No. It was goofy. It was a very. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very white sounding name. It was like, what is the whitest rich boy, pampered, stupid white boy name I can
God,
think
it
of
was.
at the moment?
Yeah,
That's what
it was real bad. It was like.
Yeah. I will go to the internet. We're gonna call him Dem for right now, and we'll come back to this because we're not gonna get stuck on this.
Okay. You better let me know. I'm writing down Dem for now.
Yes.
So Dem is also there as I feel like
Okay.
that. I feel like I have to keep that going. So Dem showed up because I told Dem to show up. That's how that works.
Desmond. It was Desmond.
Desmond.
There you go.
God.
Boom. Found it. Bam.
Desmond.
hmm
God.
It only took me like a minute and a half, and I was like, boom, that was it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Desmond.
Mhm.
Desmond is from House.
He would be
Uh,
from...
It's the one
Not-
that Taylor was schmoozing with.
Yeah,
Would be
it was
Alana.
one up.
Starts with an E. Ella, something or
I
other.
thought it was Alonda.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alonda, thank you.
Alonda. Okay, just gonna write that down so I remember. All right.
Desmond Alonda. Yeah, it was like, this sounds really pretentious. This is
Yeah.
great name.
Yeah. That's yep. Alrighty, and even if it wasn't, it is now. So
Yeah,
yes,
it was
Desmond
now.
is there because I told Desmond to be there.
Yeah. Desmond likes being told what to do.
Desmond likes to tell what to do.
Yep. We established that.
We did.
Is he like a lost
All
boy?
right.
Does he just follow you around?
Yes.
No, he
I
doesn't.
think
He
he
does not
should.
just follow her around because that would publicly look bad on him.
Oh, true.
And they have not finalized any sort of marriage agreement yet.
Yeah,
So
I don't know about that.
But it's more along
So-
the lines of like, you say jump, he asks how high.
yeah,
A little
Mhm.
bit.
and he does
and
socialize a bit.
yeah, and I feel like Vidya is willing to like arrange things in a way where like it will never make him look bad. Like she'll tell him you'll
Mhm.
be there, you'll be here, but she'll like make the arrangements so that like it's
Mhm.
like socially proper that he should be here. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his family is looking to invest in the same minor house and not opposed to, hey, I'm just here hanging out with this girl I like.
yeah. So
Mhm.
she'll always find a way. She'll be like, "Oh, and yes, of course, and you should meet
Mhm.
Desmond, and he's also interested, and blah blah blah." She's doing all the spoozy schmoozy, making all the nice.
That's
nicey.
fine. How does Briar make this entrance into the
Uh,
room? Is Briar look dejected? Is Briar like
I'd say he probably doesn't know that she has company, just, doing different things. And so he will knock, and if things sound okay, he'll come in,
Yes.
see that there are people there, and he'll go, sorry to interrupt. I just, I had a letter from my family, and I just wanted to show you some of the nonsense that they said. So, and he swallows. Whenever you have a minute, when you're done with your guests, of course, you can find.
I think I can.
Pants on fire.
I can. Yeah, I can tell.
Just
that
gonna let
that's
you
a-
know.
That's
It's bad.
That's
It was intentionally bad.
oh.
Yeah.
It was a hot lie, and she's just like, So she's going to turn to Desmond, and just like very like graciously like whisper in his ear, keep them busy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back. I have some matters to attend to. And then she will graciously excuse herself.
Sure.
And take Briar away so that she can see this letter, and she'll just like hold her hand up for it, like, all right, let's see how bad it is.
Where do you guys go to do this? I assume you don't just do it right outside the door. of
No,
the room you're going
somewhere
to.
very private, like Lydia's room or Vidya's room.
Like very private, or like publicly where you can court off the area.
I would
because
say
you
that
have
we're
power.
probably going to a kitchen because Briar is looking for like a bottle of wine, to drink post haste.
Do you go to the liquor cellar? Because there's a giant liquor cellar.
Oh, it's probably
Let's go.
private down there. Let's do that. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
should be
like-
pretty private. Like,
you will.
who's allowed in the liquor cellar other than us, Uncle Omar, and like only the trusted staff, you know?
Correct.
Like
you
none
will
of the
denote when-
newbies are allowed there.
You will denote that when you get to the liquor cellar, most of it is open for you guys, but Omar does have like a private stash vault door in the liquor cellar that he's like, no, it's full of
Classic.
super expensive liquor.
Classic. Cool. And she'll be like, all right, how bad is it?
Why don't you just give it
Yeah.
a skim? Just like
Yeah.
the first 3 sentences really kind of do the.
And she reads it and she just kind of goes, oh. Shit. So, what do you think?
He like has just like started to cry. There's like one tear rolling, and then you look back up, and he's like,
No, it's okay. Come here. Come here. I got you. It's okay. And she gives you a hug. Oh, precious baby. There.
Through your tear-stained eyes, you do see a really good bottle of scotch.
There we go. Drink up. It's okay. There you go. Good job. Good. You're gonna be all right. There. Pat.
I don't really care what else she has to say. I hate that I wasn't there.
I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry
And
for the way
now-
she treats you.
I'm sorry for how she treats me too. Fuck. I am not equipped for this. I guess maybe I'm missing something in the politics. He like has the letter and he like flips it over like maybe there would be something on the back even though there definitely isn't. I don't know why they can't just ally with House Elmari and this not be an issue.
That's a good question.
When you say that, you have a flashback as the Sparrow. So the reason there's not, beef would be too strong a word, but there's definitely some lingering issues, and the what you understand about it, because it's before your time, but it is definitely something you could possibly ask Omar about very specifically, because it is from his generation of your house. Your house has not been in this fine city for this incredibly long amount of time. You're kind of a recent addition. You guys were basically sellswords, and some would say pirates. You would make the argument maybe you did some piracy. No one can prove it.
Just a little piracy. It never hurt nobody.
Just a little. Well, that's a lie. But during the situation to really establish your house, certain members of your house basically proceeded to handle some situations for some people. Some of those situations that were handled were former rivals of Briar's family. These individuals basically may have paid your house to dispose of the allies of Briar's family, or maybe even Briar's family in that generation. Omar would know more about the specifics, but it's how the game is played, but it's not the last generation remembers. It's that
Right.
your generation is like, it happens. That's how the game is played. They're like, they still killed my second cousin.
Right. And this is House Corvetto, right?
No, this
Or
is
is it a
the
different
minor
house?
house that Briar is part of. That is.
Ooh, okay,
that
so it's
was
not one of the like named houses.
correct. It's a minor
Okay.
a minor house that dealt with scholarly stuff.
Okay.
What you know is that they used to be in charge of one of the libraries, and they lost control around the time your family came into being a major house power. And
Okay.
your family is probably tied to them losing the big library they had access to.
Ouch. Okay. Well then. And I'll like kind of like as I have this flashback relay into some of that so that Briar can recall some of that past knowledge. And then she goes, well then, if you want your house to ally with us, it sounds like we're gonna need to make nice and make some arrangements, and we can talk to Uncle Omar.
I guess maybe we should talk to everyone else. The thing is like, I don't know if making nice with my house is a bad idea for Briar, but it's a great idea for House Elmari.
Right. Only if you feel comfortable. You are most important. But you know what? We'll talk to everyone, and we'll talk to Uncle Omar, and maybe he'll figure out a way that we can do it without it affecting you too much.
I guess we'll see. We should talk. We should get the idea out on the floor. I don't want her to be able to plague my anxiety against me.
That's very fair. Don't worry, I've got your back.
Woohoo!
Are
Great
you
day.
lying?
Great day.
Are you lying?
Obviously, it's not a good day. My brother is dead, Vidya.
No, out of character is Briar lying when, like,
About what?
about her be reassuring Briar that she has their back.
I mean, he went to her for a reason.
Fair enough.
So-
Okay, fair enough. She
Just
just had to
distraught
check.
doesn't equal distraught and lying do not equal self-doubt. They're not the same. So
Yeah, I just wanted to double check, like, if
I think
Briar
Briar
actually...
believes these things or this moment.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wasn't sure if Briar like sincerely believes that Vidya has their back, but that's
Yeah.
you know.
So do you gather up the other folks?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's
I have a feeling that the other pair is probably up to no good. So what are the two of you doing together up to no... Because I feel you're together and up to no good.
I am the hawk. I hunt, and I'm getting antsy. So
Oh,
I have something you can hunt for.
what are we hunting?
Whoa.
So, I spill all the tea about this house of ill repute and who owns it and what's going on there, and I'm just like, I don't know what the answer is. I just know I have to figure it out to stop everyone from fighting. You know? There's something about this place. There's something about this place and where it is and the deed and all of this nonsense that has both sides of the city up in fucking arms. And honestly, it's stressing me out. And I just want that to be done with. But I don't know how to get the answers. You know how to get answers.
Where are we looking first? Who's our first mark?
Well, what did I get from Patrice's bodyguard again? It was that... Wasn't that someone...
Had it, right?
you got that the gang whose territory, because we named both gangs. I believe it is the gang whose territory that it is not in have the deed to the house somehow. They have the physical land deed that gives them ownership of the house.
The Red
And that is what is
Masks have
causing-
the house deed, but it is in the other people's proper turf.
Yeah, so the Red Masks physically have the deed to the house, but their territory is not that deep in. So it's a question of, like, do you let the Red Masks expand their territory, take over this house, and do what they're going to do, which will put them at odds with whatever is going on with the nobles, or do you back the kind of street gang the nobles are already backing and go get the deed, and because if you physically take the deed away from them, they no longer have the deed to the house. It is a physical item you can acquire. So the key would be to figure out who in the Red Mask has the physical deed and take it if you wanted to squash it that way.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That's the easiest way. 'Cause
That's the easy way.
Taking a deed is a lot easier than it is to expand territory.
So sweet. So as you two go looking for everybody else, you find the Hawk and the Kuth in the armory, just kind of stacking up weapons, like they're about to go on a shopping spree. It's like that scene in Archer where, like, let loose the hogs of war. Whatever farm animal of war, Lana. It's that. Like, he's just going through. They're like, oh, we could use an explosive. Oh, we could use some repeating crossbows.
Yeah.
We could use some guns.
Do you think I could put this axe in my bag? And I'm like trying to shove a battle axe into like a pack.
Only one way to find out. Let's try it.
What are you guys doing?
Not to interrupt a good time or anything, because this does look like a good time, but what are you doing?
Stuffing an axe into a bag.
Stopping
do I
a
wanna know
potential
why?
turf war.
Ooh, that too.
Okay,
Well,
Or
that's
causing a potential turf war. Getting involved in turf war.
I'm
is that a
probably
good
gonna
idea?
I'm
No.
probably gonna shoot a guy. Oh wait, good
Maybe in the
idea
dick.
part. Oh yeah, maybe in the dick. Maybe in the dick.
Do I need to stop this?
You know, on a moral level, maybe not.
I just... Will your actions, the two of you, bring harm to House Almari? How much cleanup am I going to need to do?
Probably not any.
Yeah, I don't think it. No,
I think that's what it could bring harm to whatever royal the house is. There was something mixed up with royal people backing this place, but I haven't figured that one out yet. So
effectively, there's a house of ill repute, and we're gonna go get the deed.
And this is totally not going to come back and bite us in the ass. I'm going
Hey,
to
hold
pretend
on.
I heard none
Hold
of
on.
this.
I'll just wear my eye patch that doesn't have the house symbol on it, and we're clear. We're clear.
Please, both of you go nondescript. That's all I ask. But before that...
You should not wear your brand new cloak that says the castrator of House Almari across the back of it in gold lettering. That's the cloak you shouldn't wear.
I only wear that to special occasions.
Yeah.
Before you go off on this adventure, we all need to talk as a group, and I have sent a note for Uncle Omar to also show up. Hopefully.
Is someone trying to attack the house?
My brother
Kind of.
died, and now I'm the heir to House Solier.
That. That is the attack on the house, yes.
No
I
one-
don't fully know your relationship with your brother. Is I'm sorry or congratulations in order?
He didn't do anything wrong, I guess, except be everything that I'm supposed to be. Condolences, I guess.
My condolences.
Sorry to hear that, Noble Briar. If you don't mind me asking, how did he pass?
Does it say in the note how he passed?
Nope, it does not say in the note how he passed.
Was he sick, to my knowledge?
No, he was not. He was in good health. He was even on the bachelor market, to the fact that, like, your family is a minor house and marrying him off would do somebody some good.
I have a worry, and I hope it is not the case, but it didn't say.
Maybe he was on a ship that sank.
Vincent,
I feel like we'd hear if a ship had sank recently.
that is kind of
factual.
Vincent takes his rifle and he like raises it up not towards anyone, but he raises it up and says, "If we find foul play, I will be sure to lend you my arms."
And your sword. And your rifle. Yes, okay.
And my
you can
axe. Pull the battle axe out of that.
Excellent. 10 out of 10. Bravo.
It's way too heavy for me. I'd drop it. Yeah.
Being bleak is not my style, but when it comes to my mother in particular, she is the thing that will kill every one of us one day. And so it's not that I think there was foul play. I think that she is bad, to speak plainly.
You do know that you could always write back or visit your home to find out what is going
Ew,
on.
why?
Voice of God, why would I do that? Why would I go there?
Because if you can convince Omar to go there, it could be really funny.
Okay, you know, I will roll up to the house, under the guise of like bringing like the little condolence basket and maybe, you know,
Sure,
visiting the grave if we can get Omar to go
Well,
with us.
Oh my god.
He hasn't been buried yet. He recently died, and you all live in the same city. So the letter was probably delivered within hours of him dying.
Okay.
Oh, so you get
How
to
great
put on
is
the,
that?
You get to put on the full
Yeah.
mourning gear and everything. Shit.
Yeah. So you guys are talking. Do you tell Omar where you want him to meet him, or did you just be like, Omar, find us somewhere in your manor? Like you sent a note for Uncle Omar.
I did send a note for Uncle Omar. I assume we don't want to be found with all of his weapons. Like, should we go to
I
a
don't
room?
think he cares.
Oh,
He doesn't. Really
you know
care.
what?
I mean,
If he doesn't
you're
care,
his hand selected.
He does
people
hire us
of
to use
stuff.
all the
Yeah, that's
weapons.
true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he
You
did
know
kind
what?
of hire you to do all this. Like,
in that case, the note absolutely just says, "Come find us."
you get a note back, like maybe like 7 or 8. Like you get a servant who comes back and goes, Omar would like to see you in the wine cellar.
Why would the
Sounds
servant
bad.
not
He said
just tell him where he got the note from?
He said
Because
he's not
it's
coming to find you. He doesn't play hide or seek anymore.
All
fun
right,
in
we will
that?
go to the wine cellar.
To be fair, there are probably only two places we would be, and that would be the armory or the wine cellar. So he did just make a choice.
He did. He promptly went and said, "Come find me," and was like, "I'm going to the wine cellar." All right, they're not in the wine cellar. Someone
Come
go
find
tell
me.
them I'm in the wine cellar because I'm not looking anymore.
I like to imagine basically this is our group dynamic. Either we're looking at alcohol or we're looking at weapons. And if we're not doing that, we're like looking at ships going, "That's a cool ship. We should be on that ship."
That's an activity. That's a legitimate hobby.
Legitimate
I did that just today. I did.
Aww.
I love ships.
There you go.
man.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker. Don't you ever forget.
As we walk in, Vidya just like very teasingly goes, "Uncle Omar, you're getting old. You don't play hide and seek with me anymore."
I haven't played hide and seek with you since you were 3. Like, it is literally like the most like factual statement you've heard him say. Like, it's like you have this underlying idea that he doesn't like playing hide and seek anymore for some odd reason. Like,
Gee, I wonder why. It's like bad things happened. Vidya says being very playful though. Like she just kind of chuckles and blows it off.
and he's like, he's got some courtesan with him at this point in time, and they're looking over wine bottles, and he's like, no, that one. So, what did you need me for? You usually don't send notes unless you actually need me for something.
Yes, we actually need you for something. We've got a little situation with Briar's house.
What about them?
I'm just gonna
This tone
hand him the
does
letter. I'm not doing this again.
So he reads the letter in a very interesting manner, and he gets down to the very end and says the words, "Oh, well, she's still a cunt."
I can say that. Why can you say that?
Oh,
No, hold on.
I'm sure your mother would be pleased to see me again.
Are you sure?
But I mean, I would be pleased to see how she reacts to seeing me again. But hands the letter back. It's a long story. You it's before your time. You know your Uncle Nikolai that doesn't exist anymore? There's like the family patron wall, like of a deceased uncle that you like didn't hear much about.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
with the
was like an
mustache.
important
Yeah.
with the mustache. Your mother never forgave me for what I did to him. So it complicated our relationship.
I need you to level with me right
you
now.
do?
Were you at any point my mom? Level with me now.
Was I at any point what your mom?
You know what I'm asking, Omar. I've had a long morning.
Did I shtup your mother? Are you asking me if I shtupped your mother?
You just said that it complicated your relationship. What relationship were you having with my mother?
I have never shtupped your mother. He is not lying.
Vidya will lean over to Briar. He's not lying, just so you know.
He completely visibly relaxes.
No, I have
Oh,
never.
poor baby.
I have never shtupped your mother. Not to say that she didn't throw herself at me once or twice.
Don't tell him that. Don't do that.
He asked questions. I will give him answers.
Okay.
He clearly doesn't want me to
All
lie
right.
to him.
All right. Okay. All right. More importantly,
We lost Logan, but we'll keep rolling.
Okay. More importantly, can fences be mended? Can we get back in good with them?
Do you want to get back in good with your mother? I'm not going to lie. I did recruit you to get at her.
It's not about what I want right now. Do you
Well,
think it would be advantageous for us to get back in good with my family?
It would
They're
also
a
save you
minor
from
house?
becoming from going back there. You could stay with House of Mine.
I mean,
Obviously,
the choice is
but
yours.
You
to stay
forget,
with our
there's
house
like
regardless.
you grew up with Omar, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the way that consequences work, it's different. No matter what I do in this scenario, I will lose. So I might as well do something that helps everyone else.
And Vidya just kind of like pouts and frowns because she doesn't like the sounds of that, and she looks at Uncle Omar like with the same pout as if like to be like, what can be done here?
Omar legitimately straightens up and kind of drops his drunkard facade and sends the consort out for a moment.
Wow.
And heads to the back of the wine cellar and goes up to the safe door and stands so you can't see him put in whatever he's putting in to unlock it.
Dang.
But he will unlock it.
Yeah.
What's up?
I wouldn't try to snoop on that.
No. Not worth it.
Personally.
And you can hear kind of a as the door opens. And there's what appears to be probably it's not like a wing of the house, it's not like a giant room. It's probably like a 20 by 20 foot room that's kind of a study. But it's very clearly like his study in the sense of this is where he does serious like work when you're that type of person. So like there's dossiers and folders and other things laid out, and there's like some weapons on the wall, and all of like the ornateness of the rest of the house is kind of gone. This is very clearly a personal room for him.
Wow.
And he looks around a bit, opens up like an armoire, takes a particular suit out that looks like it hasn't been worn in a very long time, and hangs it up on a hanger to get moving. And he goes to like the file cabinet and pulls out basically a file folder and kind of thumbs through it and says and has there's multiple chairs in the room. There's not chairs for everybody, but there's like 3 or 4 chairs, so it's not like this room is so private he doesn't entertain other people in it every once in a while. But it's very clearly a private space for him. And then he has Briar sit down and kind of hands Briar over what appears to be like a dossier. And it is a dossier about Briar, of all people. And it basically is his personal like opinions on Briar. And as Briar reads it, it very much stands out that Omar's opinion of Briar is that Briar has a lot of potential. Briar's family is wasting that potential. The history between his house and Briar's family means that if he takes Briar under his wing, that this potential won't be squandered for a bunch of bookworms that wouldn't know what to do with greatness if it bit them. And this isn't like something he wrote yesterday. This is clearly old, like from before you joined the house.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of through it, he asks for it back, and he puts it back where it was, and he goes, "You're a member of this house now. If you don't want any more relationship with your family, we can send a very clear signal that causing an issue with you causes an issue with House Elmari. If you want to ally your blood family with this house, and you think that is the best way to operate, we will support that decision. I don't mind being a thorn in your mother's side again and making it abundantly clear to her what will or will not happen. But you don't get to just lose or lose anymore. That's not how this works. You need to stop thinking that she has power over you and start thinking like an Omari.
Okay, here's my most logical and real thought. My parents are awful. My grandparents were awful. But my siblings are not necessarily awful. Like, they were raised in an awful environment, but they are very smart. And my mother and father won't rule the house forever.
Correct. I mean, if you draw them into our house, they'll rule the house for as long as the Elmari tell them they get to maintain their power base. If you think there needs to be a culling at the top of your particular blood family after they join the Elmari, that can be arranged.
A culling?
I use the word very precisely.
Get rid of the bad eggs, basically.
I can't, in good conscience, and he closes the folder and hands it back to Omar. I can't, in good conscience, tell you to kill anyone, let alone my own mother. Does anyone else want to weigh in? Anybody else want to?
If you prefer to see them exiled, that can also be arranged.
That'd be kind of ironic. They've been here for a long time. I think a lot of the academics are actually kind of done with them, if you know what I mean.
Well, there's lots of people that have been done with them for a very long time, but
You're preaching to the choir, man. You don't need to
They have
tell
enough
me.
sway that keeps other people from dealing with them. But it is a question of what you want. If you want to attend to your brother's funeral, if you want to make a message to your mother, if you want to deal, air quotes, with the situation, and if you see that to being having House Elmari absorb them and having you feel that your siblings get a better future, or if you want them never have to talk to them again, both of these things can be taken care of. But the choice is yours. You're an Elmari now.
Here's what I would like to do. I would like to go to my brother's funeral because he's my brother and he's dead.
Sure.
Secondly, if there is a way that we could, I don't know, like all those like mental health people talk about like ending the cycle. If we cast her out, we end the cycle. So if we can cast my mother out of society, proper society at least, and absorb my siblings and the Solier legacy or whatever into Almari, then I do win. And then we all also win. Because they have, like, any magic book you've ever wondered about. It's insane.
Oh, I'm aware. I when I was younger, I had to retrieve a book or two from your family.
Nice.
We've technically not officially named your mother, so we should probably do that now. I was leaning on Gwendolyn, because I think that's a pompous name.
That's a good pompous name. That's perfectly fine with me.
Fair enough. There we go. So, are we going to get
Do we
dressed
have-
up in our finest and pay proper respects?
Yes, you all don't have to come, but obviously you might want to. If we're
I'm
staking
sure
things out.
your mother would be thrilled to see me.
Over the table, do we know there's gonna be some kind of like ball thing? Is that like already something that is public knowledge?
Yes.
Like, so we could plan to oust her or embarrass her or whatever we're going to do at the large event that everyone is going to be at.
You could, yes, very
Okay.
much so. You could have a night of intrigue and mystery and social exploits and the destruction of a minor house as a sub-theme for your upcoming big event. It's not like I totally didn't set that up at all.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
I would
Let's
But
make
I-
like me last week and go to a funeral.
I would
I-
love to visit and watch all of this go down personally. I'll
I
just
believe we
watch.
have a costume / time to everybody play dress up monologue as we stall for Logan. So describe what your characters wear so you can go barge into Briar's family's house to discuss this dead brother. What are people looking to wear?
Look, I think that Babs has really grown to love the tearaway skirts, especially if the opportunity arises that we can sneak off and maybe cause some shit at a house of ill repute. She wants to be able to become discreet quickly. So probably like all black little morning ensemble under within the family tearaway skirt over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a little brooch with our thing on.
No brooch, no battle axe in a bag, but lots of cheese.
I will bring the brie. The brie's coming with me. But yeah, no battle axe. I tried very hard. It just did not fit.
Didn't match the rest of the outfit. Do you
It
have
didn't
one of those
fit.
like? Do you have
It
like
would
one of
have
those
looked
daggers
great.
that fits between the bosom though? Because that's very
Oh.
much a thing I totally see with your character.
There are daggers hidden all over, no matter
All over.
where. Yeah, we got the little
Oh my.
holsters. We got the holsters here. We got them in between the ladies. There's like one right in the middle of my back on a holster in case I need to grab it real quick.
But it looks like a piece of jewelry, not like an
Yeah.
actual dagger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You've really taken to this fancy people can hide weapons everywhere motif, huh?
Mm-hmm. It's great.
Fair enough. I assume you wear like an open sigil of the house as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'll have the sigil and like a brooch, and then have all my colors.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And what does the sparrow wear?
The sparrow will wear socially appropriate mourning attire since this is a grief situation, and she will dress in black and lace and all of that kind of nonsense. She will. Can she get away with pants, or are we not?
I don't-
That's a little rougher for you.
That's
I don't
rough.
know.
Okay, all right, fine. She will wear a dress. It's fine. She
You
can
could
handle
do the tearaway.
If you want-
It's very handy.
Nah, nah.
Yeah,
She'll
because I
go
assume
full
you
femme.
have like a black lacy parasol to go with everything too,
Oh,
to
yes.
keep the beating
Yep.
sun away.
Yep. Absolutely,
Um,
I do. I've got the
Mhm.
house emblem, the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
It is socially
the
appropriate
hawk-
mourning.
To catch the hawk back up, there's been a decision that we're going to go to the house and find out what happened to the brother before the big events, and then we might be spending our entire big event party crashing and wrecking this minor house so we can absorb them in the House Elmari and dethrone Briar's awful mother, Gwendolyn, because we needed a very pompous awful name.
Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn. Yeah. So the hawk. What does the hawk wear to go to this family meeting of proto mourning?
Proto morning. We haven't even begun. So, still stylized probably in black if he has a black cloak. very
Mhm.
heavy black boots,
Mhm.
probably a white cotton shirt, and just like black slacks. It is all very plain. It is all very simple. It's just the cloak is embolized with the Almari household, and also
Mhm.
the eye patch has been replaced with the one that has the
Mhm.
symbol of the House of Almari to symbolize both his place as a member and to show off a bit. He might be simple, he might dress simple, but he needs to be it needs to be understood where he comes from.
Sure. Not a problem. And I'm gonna have Briar do a description last. So Omar is wearing a suit. Like, it is not the nicest you've ever seen Omar dressed, but it is also a suit out of time. Like, you all have kept up with very modern fashion. This is like Omar wearing very clearly like a 1980s power suit in like 2010. Like, it still looks good, it looks nice, but it is slightly out of fashion. Um, and it is very clear that he is not wearing this outfit necessarily. Um, uh, he's not necessarily like doing it because it's what's fashionable to wear. He's doing it because he clearly expects a particular response from someone. Like, it is very clear that he is wearing this because this might be the last suit that Briar's mom saw him in. So he is very quickly playing psychological warfare already.
Damn.
Wonderful.
I feel like Vidya's like, Uncle Omar, don't you want something more modern? He's just like, no.
He's like, no, I have my reasons. You
It's like,
always want to remember. You always want to have the people who see you remember them the last thing they saw you in. Like, it's very clear that he is like, I am here to commit psychological war crimes, and the fun starts now.
It's not even warfare. He's jumped directly into the crimes. Like,
Yeah,
it's already illegal.
yeah. Have you met Omar? Um, as you guys exit, there are two coaches, as well as like morning riders, like that denote, like, you know how you'd see a police escort. There's like two people on horseback at the front and the back of this entourage of carriages that are very clearly marked as morning riders, people that denote that while you're traveling through the street that you are a group in mourning over the death of someone. And you guys pile into these carriages and proceed to start heading toward this minor noble house. It is very clear that you are making a display as a house about this situation.
Yeah.
What does anybody discuss on the way, or is it like eerily quiet?
Briar is so silent. This is the most quiet you've ever heard him. Any of you have heard him since meeting him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am also quiet because I don't know what to do in this situation. You know, when you've never really had anybody, you don't know how to deal with death because to deal with that. And it's just like trying to look anywhere but in
Just
anybody's eyes.
Just every once in a while munch on a piece of cheese, like it's the only thing you can do with your hands.
Yeah.
Like, cheese. Cheese is delicious. So it is an awkward ride of silence. Omar seems very chill. Like, he's very chill in the sense of, like, he's not pressuring anyone to do anything. He's not being ostentatious. He's not clearly, like, drinking up a storm. He's very much kind of sitting and patiently waiting in the carriage.
Somehow more terrifying. Like, this is the scariest Uncle Omar has ever been in front of India. Like, mildly alarming to see the serious side of Uncle Omar come out for her, so she's just, like, also sitting very quietly.
I think I will talk as we pull up. If you are looking to offend them, which I presume to some level we are, just have one weapon out. Like, make sure that they know that you're armed. They don't like that.
Pull away, they rip away.
Yeah,
Omar's
that's
like,
what I
"Hey."
those lately.
I do love them. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably just my general presence will annoy slash.
They would hate you.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So I'll just be myself.
Um,
I will
So-
I won't have my pistol on hand, but I'll have my weapons ready.
Omar's like, I will not brandish a weapon because they'll use that as an excuse. I feel, given the history between you, myself personally, that's a bad idea. But I hear what you're saying. You're not wrong. The first carriage in front of you will open up, and it's basically got they do the equivalency of the black carpet for you all in mourning. It is ostentatious in a way that makes it very clear you're here to mourn, but it is also a display of money and power of a major house over the money and power of a minor house. It is setting the tone that we arrived and made sure there was a black velvet carpet so the member of our family who happens to be related to your family can pass on into the morning in the appropriately ostentatious manner. And your carriage pulls up Briar, and there is this just display of black velvet you walk on as a mourner to go back to the front door. So publicly, it is very clear that you are here in mourning. But when it comes to social status, you've already made a statement that you are now more socially important than your minor house as a member of this major house. And of course, you lead the entourage. You would lead this retinue of people up to the front door.
Yeah.
Do you inform the caller when you get to the front door that you have arrived, and that who your other individuals are with you?
I think there is a level of familiarity in coming home, even if it's uncomfortable, that cannot really be trained out of the body. So I think he leads everyone up the carpet, and then instead of doing the proper thing, he just goes for his key. He just goes for his keys to the door. He's still got him. And lets everyone in quietly.
Okay. As you let everyone in, you see in the foyer there are several people here, all of them in mourning garb. It is very clear that there are people coming and going here. And Omar gets to the caller and informs the caller to announce them appropriately after, Briar lets everybody in, because he is not going to enter without being announced, because that becomes a social issue for him. And Briar opens
I think
the door.
watching Omar flounder is a little funny.
He expected you to take care of it, and he was like, God damn it. But the thing you see is your mother is kind of entertaining at the top of the foyer as you open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that brief pause where you kind of walk in, and your mother turns to see who walked in unannounced, and looks kind of like that disapproving stare. And then the caller steps forward and reads everyone's name off, and they get to Omar in the title, and in his titles, and it's probably the first time Briar's seen this in a long time. Your mother looks flustered, annoyed, and then angry. And it's not publicly I am raging, but as someone who grew up around this woman, she's seething. You can immediately see the seething anger.
I think most realistically, there's a little bit of a trauma response that happens, and so you look down to where Briar had kind of his hand on his belt loop, and it starts shaking, and he stuffs it in his pocket.
But your mother makes her way down the stairs into the grand area, makes her way down the steps, and arrives. Omar has stayed out of line of sight at this point in time still.
Okay.
Would you like support from Vidya? Would you like Vidya to stand by your side?
That would be lovely. I don't know if I need to flashback to do this, but can we have brought a basket of stuff? I know
Totally.
I mentioned this. Yeah.
You did flashback all day for it. That is what flashbacks are for.
Yeah. So flashback will do a little the wines and fruits basket from the supplies of the cellar in the house.
You do
Vidya's
have
also
some.
holding a bouquet of flowers, and she's like standing next to you, like almost like arm in arm, like because we were once dating technically, kind of maybe might
Publicly.
still be.
You can let them think what they want. It's fine.
Exactly. So like we're kind of still dating. So she's gonna like hold to that same appearance for the purposes of this whole shenanigan.
You do find some mangoes to put in the basket, which your brother really liked and are super hard to get because you guys are not exactly in a place where it grows mangoes.
Yeah,
Love mangoes.
love mangoes. Literally can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with mangoes.
Really can't.
Mangoes are great. There's a very pro mango agenda on this stream.
For my own birthday party, I went to the local Indian food restaurant. I bought an entire gallon of mango lassi. I paid $50 for it. A whole gallon.
That is,
I do not
That is a
blame
lot
you
of
one
mango
bit. Also,
lassi.
if you want a recipe, just let me know. But
Please.
yes, I will
There you
let
go.
you know. No worries.
Things you can get from APOC. Mango lassi recipes.
I got you. Trust that shit's
something.
great.
Subscribe to Patreon.
Yes.
Yep.
I will. I listen. If someone,
Something.
if you subscribe to our Patreon, I will put it on there if you request it. You are our
There you go.
patron. You can have access to my recipe book.
There you go. All right.
Oh,
But
shit.
yes, your mother comes up, and kind of has that like, Briar, it's so good to see that you made the journey out here to mourn with us.
I would never miss any affair in Augustus's name. You know what they say about weddings and funerals.
Yes, I do. There are so many, like, your mother kind of pontificates for a moment about, like, several different things they say about weddings and funerals based upon different societies because she wants to show off her intelligence.
Mhm.
I
And then
yawn
says-
halfway through it.
Yeah. Would you please introduce me to your retinue? Now, you will denote that retinue denotes that these people are subservient to you and not like your friends. So, this would be the first place that if you wanted to socially correct your mother, you could.
These are my colleagues. They are here to share similar condolences to my own. And I suppose you didn't catch their names as they came in, so I'll go over that again for you.
I was distracted by one name in the caller, and I have yet to see. And like when she's like, I have yet to see, like Omar kind of steps around the corner of the door, like waiting to make his entrance in the way that would be most disconcerting to your mother, and is like, "Oh no, I'm here, Gwendolyn dear," and like kind of takes a very proper bow. He doesn't say it loud enough for like the room to disturb it, but it's very clear that like he said it at your mother. And like, but no, please, Briar, introduce your fellow family members.
Well, I believe you've met Omar.
He very cordially and very courtily. This is probably the most proper you've ever seen Omar act. Do a very general exchange of like classic hand exchange courtly, and makes the appropriate bow to someone of her station to his station. So those of you who know the appropriate court politics, he is being spot on with his court politics to the T. In that way that, like, if you know anything, you know he's doing it to drive his point home. And then steps back and lets you introduce everyone else.
Yeah. I'll introduce everyone else kind of one at a time with their like most proper and long titles. I didn't do an outfit thing, so I wanted to note something that I believe she would pick up on, because as I'm talking, if I'm gesturing with my hands, she would notice it.
Yes.
Briar opted to wear both his like family house symbol and the Almari symbol. But his family house symbol is on his hand, and the Almari house symbol is on a necklace that hangs near his heart.
Nice.
I will
assume
speak
you
in codes
introduce-
if she wishes to speak in codes.
She does. I assume we start with the sparrow and an
You might
introduction.
not have come
There's
out
the-
with like a formal education.
Yeah. So I assume you introduced this.
Briar may not come up with a formal education, but
Mhm.
do I have a delay?
Hey,
I think you're.
I must
You
be
are.
on a delay or something.
A little
Oh,
bit of a
no.
delay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because we see your mouth moving and then hear
I'll
the
play
words.
it.
Because I saw the a good solid 5 seconds before I heard the
I'll plan accordingly.
There you go. Good luck with that. I assume you introduce the Sparrow first as the next most noble, boring character?
yeah.
They of course are delighted to see you again and hear from you. Like it's very clear that like this is. They're not lies. More they're the exchanges you make in court. They aren't really
They're
happy to see you.
niceties.
They're niceties. They're the things that kind of annoy you. They're
But
platitudes.
if there's a
AF.
lie, okay, they're platitudes. That's fine. But if there's a lie in them, I know.
No, there's no bold face lie.
Yet.
Who do you introduce next?
I think. Okay, yeah. After Vidya, then I think I'm gonna sandwich Taylor in the middle, to try to be like unsuspecting, and then Vincent last.
Legit. Really nothing happens when you introduce Taylor. Like Taylor doesn't have any cool titles in character. So
This
you're
is
just like,
Babs.
this is Babs.
No,
Like,
you're gonna be Babs Almari at least.
Yeah. I mean, my full name is
Yeah.
Babette. If you wanted to do, make it
Yeah.
a little longer.
This is Babette Almari. Like
I think if you
Doesn't
wouldn't want to
have-
be if you didn't want to be called that, then he wouldn't introduce you as that because she would then call you Babette
True.
repeatedly.
Yeah, I don't think she hates it by any means. It's just Babs is so much easier. She will attempt to go for a handshake. Still has brie grease on her hands.
they are very taken aback by your not curtsy as someone who is in a dress and presenting as female right now. They don't
Just
know what to do with your handshake.
I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And then I go to curtsy, but it definitely shows the tearaway skirt because it's not combined in the middle. And I'm like, hey.
They're a little bit. They're like, what is this uncouth person? Then do you introduce Vincent with all of his titles?
I am not gonna call him the castrator if that is what you are asking.
I'm just wondering.
I want to make
didn't know
sure
you were going to show up
that
at your brother's funeral
The
and suddenly
castrator.
threaten to shoot everybody in the dick. I don't know if that was what's going to happen here. Yeah. They do seem more taken aback by Vincent than they did by Babs. Mainly
he
because
has an eye patch and a gun. I don't think that needs to be explained.
Yeah, he sees Pack and Heat openly. He's got an iPad. He looks gruff. He looks kind of gruff as opposed to Babs, who, isn't trying to look gruff. But, yes, your mother, finishes the rounds of introduction and then excuses herself to go see to some other mourners. She is very clearly... the undertones are very clearly happy you showed, but she's not tilted, but she's not on her game. Omar being here and being able to enter her house with no social recourse has really thrown her off her game.
Mom,
Yes.
where
Briar.
are you all keeping Augustus?
He is in the he is in the first ballroom being presented if you wish to pay your respects.
I know the way there, and I will lead. Yeah.
So you're the second son of 7 kids, you said, or is it more?
I think we did 7 because it was kitschy and fun.
I think you did 7 because it's kitschy and fun. Okay, I believe that was the case. So you start making your way to the ballroom. Describe the house you grew up in on your way to the first ballroom. So keep in mind this might be a minor house, but even minor houses have way more power than individual solo people. This is still minor houses are still the 3% as opposed to the 1%.
But Briar's family has been in Ilrian for a really long time. And so the house has been like updated, but you can also see that it's of like that very like strong like things built well, things that are built to last, kind of style. There is a lot of kind of like a cream like off-white tone, like that's what the walls are. A lot of stone. It's like a little bit clinical. Like it's not a place that kids should grow up. There are things on display, but the only like pictures are the aforementioned. If we walk past it, probably where people are being entertained, like different portraits of the family, from over the years. And I would presume a space is now being cleared for my brother in his passing, to have his portrait hung next. Yeah,
Correct.
it's I don't know. It's an academic's house. It's a place where they raise students and not children.
It's sterile is a good word to describe it, I would think.
Yeah.
It's not very warm. It feels very sterile. So you're on your way, and your second youngest sister, who's probably in her like late teens, like 18, 19 age, starts to approach you. She's stiffly back as firm, clearly carrying herself with a lot of like, I am here to do proper decorum and proper interactions. But you knowing her prior to you moving out, this is clearly shaken her. Like she doesn't look good in all those micro expressions or in the face or in like, it's somebody who is putting on that mask and keeping it together, but not somebody who is doing well. It's very easy for Briar to spot. And she kind of approaches and is like, Briar, I'm very happy you made it.
Don't play that game with me, man. And he will hug her.
She at this point in time like will kind of like hug you back but move into like a side room before you get to the ballroom and just kind of collapse against Briar and start crying. Like she is very clearly very sad.
Okay.
And not happy, and is not happy that she has to put on the public face right now. Like it very clearly like rocked her.
Okay. It's gonna be okay.
So
it's gonna be okay.
I assume like you put Vincent at a door because nobody's gonna tell Vincent to move.
Yeah.
You will note that like when you kind of circumvent into this, Omar will kind of pat the sparrow on the shoulder and be like, I'm going to go distract and socialize. You can see to Briar's family member.
Of course.
I'm not going to play 6 NPCs in the scene. So
Yeah.
Omar is going to go do his social duties.
I actually also ideally will be like, I don't know if this is your comfort zone, Vidya, kind of like doing the thing where like his chin is basically on your shoulder to whisper to you very like quietly. The study where my parents keep their stuff, go down the hall, up the stairs, second room on your right.
Got it.
If you want.
Out of character, what am I looking for? Just so that I'm...
I don't know. If they have any kind of, like, paperwork or stuff like that, I didn't want to make you sit here while Briar consoles his grieving sister, like, in the scene. So if you wanted to do something else, you could go
You
look
wanted
for
to sneak
stuff.
off with the...
I was
with the
giving you an
coup.
out. I was giving...
If you wanted to send the social and the sneaky character to go try to start stealing things to tear down a house, I think that was the social out for this particular situation.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no problem.
So I believe the two of you sneak away as Vincent holds down this door because nobody's going to be like, you know the guy with the eye patch and the gun? I'm going to go pick a fight with that motherfucker. Mm-hmm.
At a funeral.
At a funeral.
Like, I'll just have him dig an extra motherfucking
I am
grave.
standing at least respectively. I'm standing very...
I just assumed you were taking up the
so I'm not
doorway.
trying to cause too much of a scene. Yeah, no one can get in. I'm just...
Mhm.
If someone wants to get in, I'm going to say absolutely not at this time. However, it's not like I'm trying to stare someone's soul out of their body. Like, I'm not just going to get the fuck away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. So Sandra, your younger sister, as the two is the two sneaky people go to sneak off and do sneaky things, which we'll deal with in a moment. Is kind of crying. After a few minutes, she'll kind of like stop with the sniffles and like, hopefully you have a handkerchief.
Yeah. I did
and,
not
like,
pull up to a funeral without a hanky.
Without a hanky.
Yeah.
You're like, I brought 3 because it's gonna be like that. She will let you know that she is the one that found Augustus, and that your family is writing it off as like an accident, but she doesn't believe it's an accident. There wouldn't have been that much blood if it was an accident type situation.
Blood. Okay.
Basically, she found him in his lab, and your family is saying it was a lab accident. He dealt in the arcane arts, and there was mixing of the wrong things, and there was an explosion. Augustus was not known for being careless, but the way she found him, he was kind of crumpled. There was blood. She's fairly sure something happened, like, but she's not sure what.
Okay.
And
Did they redress him for this? We haven't gone in there yet.
yes, no, he's been present. He's publicly presented. It's presentable. It's not.
Okay.
They've also cast the Nax on him to preserve his body, so I don't know how.
Did they clear his room yet?
They cleared the lab, but not his personal room. No.
They cleared the lab?
Yeah, it was not usable, and they wanted to make sure it could be put back to use as fast as possible.
They did it. Oh, they did it. Oh, they fucking did it. Did he piss them off lately? Do
No.
anything, fun that brought him joy, or,
No. I mean, yeah, he was doing things that brought him joy, but nothing that upset them. He was working on theories and about to propose a new paper that would bring a lot more prestige to the family, but like it wasn't anything that mother or father disagreed with.
Ari been around here lately?
No, not recently.
Okay.
We expect after you left, they left. A few, probably 7 or 8 months later. They haven't been back since. So
Yeah, they're a little salty at me right now. That's why I'm asking. But
I don't think they're as salty as you think they are.
probably not enough to kill him, but I need to cover my bases. I want you to know that I believe you over our mother any day of the week.
That's fine. Mother is mother, and I don't know what to do about it. And as you're kind of discussing this, we'll pan away, and then we'll pan into the study. So the two of you are like first corridor, third left, door. You get there, and weirdly enough, the door to the study during a grieving period where they can't be around it is totally locked. So, what would you like to do? Oh, I see some things.
Don't think
I
that's
mean-
my area of expertise. I think that's yours.
Yeah, I do own a pair of lockpick or a set. I guess it's not a pair; it's a set.
You take your extra
Just keep
brie
an
cheesy
eye.
hands, and you rub them
Oh,
on
I mean, I
lockpicks
wipe
to
them
help
off
extra grease them
after.
up.
I was keeping
No, I
them
just
greasy
assume
for
you-
her.
I assume you grease up the lockpicks to make them extra usable with your brie. With
There
your
you go,
brie
you go.
grease. That way they're sophisticated lockpicks.
Yes, fancy. Yeah, and then I'm going to attempt to
To pick
My way through
the
there.
locks. Go for it.
Okay, remind me, 2d6, then I add a d6 for having the dot, right?
For basically calling upon the thing, yes. If you have the appropriate skill that goes with it, I'll give you the extra dice for the appropriate equipment that's going to help make the job easier.
So does that mean I get one for the dot and the equipment, or just I get the extra dot
One-
because I have the equipment?
You get one per dot that's appropriate, and then one for the equipment.
Which I would assume would be like maneuver.
This is definitely, you can
Wouldn't
run a
necessarily
maneuver
be,
on this.
Wreck. I mean, that
You're
seems bad.
this is maneuver over wreck. Wreck would be destroying the lock to get in,
Yeah,
or kicking the door down, or shooting the
Oh.
lock like you're in a western.
It's been a hot minute. Highest die, right?
It's the highest die, and if you roll 2 6s, then it's a crit.
Wish I did not, but I got a 5.
You got a 5.
I had a little mini streak.
So, yep, you got a 5. So 5 is success with like a little minor thing that happens. We're gonna say this lock is way tougher than you thought it would be, and is really not, like, you as somebody who has picked some locks before, this is a lock you would put on an area you really want to keep safe, and you totally open it up, but you do snap one of your lock picks in the lock. It's still, like, the whole set still works, it doesn't take that away, but you're like, well, that's evidence, and you know that.
Yeah.
So you can kind of stay out here to get the lock pick out of the lock, leaving, you know, Leona's character to get in there and search by her lonesome. Or you can leave the lock pick, which may come back to bite you in the ass later.
I mean, I think lockpick is probably my priority, but I will look to Vidya and be like, I really need to get Omar to buy me some better quality ones of these. This is like the 7th one I've broken this month. Should I try and dig this out, or are we not worrying
that's fine.
about it? Okay, perfect.
And let's
All right,
let's. I feel like erring on the side of caution, personally.
Okay.
So that leaves that leaves just the Sparrow to kind of spot investigate this room all by their lonesome as you take the time to dig the broken part of the lockpick out of the lock.
I mean, once you've done digging it out, you can also kind of like make sure nobody's coming. So
Keep an eye out.
You do double as a lookout, which is both good and bad. As opposed to somebody just walking through the hall and not paying any attention to what's going on. So you walk into this study. It is 2 big-ass oak desks facing each other that is very clearly done by 2 academics. There are books. One of the desks is fairly orderly. The other desk is clearly chaos theory. So they clearly have 2 different thinking styles, but they are... One is very organized, everything has its place and everything is in its place. And one of them is, there are books open to certain pages and things marked, but they're both like work in progress desks, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. They both were clearly studying or looking at something. It is a medium-sized study. It is one of those situations where you're like, oh, this isn't a small room, but it isn't a large room. There's like, you know, decanter for water, decanter for liquor. There's all sorts of other little things like that about. And there are books along the wall. Some of them you very quickly spot as very expensive first editions of magical theorem books. So like this is not a situation of these people are like this is a study where people are using the first edition. Sometimes they have up to like the 6th or 7th edition. Some of the books have clearly been written by the people in this room. Like they're kind of set aside as like they wrote said magical theory. And you're just kind of looking at what appears to be a study in use. Is there anything in particular you're trying to look for?
Anything incriminating? I mean, this is the parents' study, or
Yeah, this is my
Okay.
parents' study.
yeah, anything incriminating that might result in her being ousted.
Nothing at the drop of a hat here looks incriminating.
Okay.
You can try to like explore the room for things if you want, but
Yeah.
there's nothing that stands out that says I do crime.
Would a study or a survey roll help me?
Survey roll will totally help you.
Okay. I have 1 die because I have 1 dot.
Correct.
Can I push myself?
You can, or you can take the lady's favor if you don't want to push yourself at the beginning of the adventure.
What's the lady's favor?
It gives you
Lady's
an
favor
extra...
gives you an extra die, but lets me either bank evil things for later or add something weird to the scene.
Okay. Do you have a proposal for me? I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it.
Well, keep in mind the stress won't go away.
Yeah,
So that the advantage here is you're not banking stress, allowing me to add things to the scene as I see fit, or bank it for when I want to do something with a big bad later.
Okay, fine. I will take the lady's favor so I can roll 2 dice.
Sounds good.
2d6s. And I rolled a 6.
Well, there you go. Excellent. Then I will bank that for later. If you had rolled not a 6, I would have done something in the scene. So I get to be evil, mischievous DM that does evil, mischievous DM things. Let me stroke my beard.
But yes, I would love to kind of figure out what I can
So
get my
as you
hands
search
on.
and survey, you will realize that there, when you clearly go to the very well organized desk, you will basically find in one of the compartments a little button that pops open a little like extra thing, very classic Renaissance hidden desk compartment situation. Inside that, you will basically find what is a theory book that is not in the same handwriting as the person who's been going through and writing at this desk.
Hmm.
Given that you saw the letter earlier, you can you as the key, who picks up on a lot of these social things, will note that this quest is probably Gwendolyn's because the notes are all in her handwriting that you have seen. And this other book you find under it is not in her handwriting. It is in some sort of like code. It's clearly written in the native tongue, but it is coded in some manner. And you're not going to take the time to decode it now, but it looks more like a personal journal, not in her handwriting.
So it definitely seems like it belongs to her, but not.
But she did not write it. It is in her secret desk compartment, so she is in possession of it.
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's weird. It's weird and interesting. So she'll take it.
Okie dokie.
She will pocket that.
You'll pocket that, not a problem. You totally pocket that. It takes you probably a good like 4 or 5 minutes to do this. At which point in time, Taylor, you managed to get the lockpick out of the door after about 4 or 5 minutes of fidgeting with it. So you guys are left with, well, we got a book. We can get the hell out of here, or we can take more time trying to look around more. That is the question you have to ask yourselves. The more time you are in a place you're not supposed to be in, the riskier things do get.
I again just kind of looked at Vidya. I'm like, normally, I would take my time in here, but I'm not going to steal from Briar's family.
I mean,
only what we need. Only
journal.
what we need. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I was more gonna just start looking around for like golden letter openers and things, but
yeah, no, let's not do that. Should we head back then, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
If that sounds good to you, I got
Yeah.
my lockpick. Poor little broken thing.
Yep. So we'll zoom in and we'll zoom out. Vincent, how you are not staring holes in people, correct? So like.
Correct.
Oh,
Correct.
All right. So you're kind of guarding the door, and at like one point in time, like a guy who's probably in his early 20s, like kind of looks into the door, and like walks by, like kind of does a double take, and then walks by, and then tries to walk into the room. What do you want to do in response to this?
I immediately put my hand out to stop this person and say, not now. Briar needs this moment with his family.
There's like this brief kind of moment, and like, but and like Briar looks up. I assume at the kind of like stammery, stutteriness that's going on here.
Yeah, like look through the door. Yeah.
Yeah. There is the guy that has been courting your sister for like the past 4 years. Like he tries really hard. Like he is not the best socially person, but like your mother does and doesn't approve of this guy, so you kind of like him. And he's doing his best right now, but he clearly is outclassed by the Vincent in the hallway and doesn't want to pick a fight with the guy with the gun, but really clearly like wants to like console your sister too. So it's like this really awkward like I don't know what to do moment with this other guy. And you remember his name is Matthew. And he's kind of like
Sandra, do you want your boyfriend in here right now?
I wouldn't mind not seeing Matthew. He is very nice to me.
Vincent, let the kid in. He's fine.
Vincent puts his hand down, but he like does a very much like he brings his one finger up to his good eye, his only eye, and he just goes.
Yeah, no, dang, I'm not gonna do any. And like Sandra and Matthew kind of like break it off, and then like him kind of like you kind of pass the consoling off to him, as you see your other compatriots kind of re-arrive at the scene, and like you can talk to Matthew if you want and ask him kind of what's going on as well, but he's kind of in this weird place where he feels very stuck. You can tell based upon like you can tell two things. One, it's been probably like a year plus since you've seen this guy. He's been working out. He used to be much scrawnier. He's put on some muscle mass. Like he's been hitting the gym. And much like you, he's packing. He's carrying a weapon, which you know upsets your parents, but you also know that like you haven't been around him in like the past 16 months, so things might have changed with him.
Alright, we're gonna do the uncomfortable stuff first, then we're gonna talk like normal people. Okay, Matthew?
Sure, yeah, that would be great. I've gotten much better at talking like normal people. Still bad at the uncomfortable stuff.
You treating my sister right?
Well, yeah. Oh, she didn't show you? And like, she's wearing like a little promise ring on her finger. Like he's clearly like trying real hard. But you didn't like engage with that when you were talking about what happened with Augustus.
Yeah. That
clearly wasn't like the priority. The priority was crying with my brother, not telling them about the good things in my life right now. Your mother doesn't approve, but I don't care.
Were you at the academy, or did you take up knighthood?
I took up a squireship actually recently.
He looks a little bit proud.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing a little bit of a nod. There is hope yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good answers. That's the end of the uncomfortable stuff.
Sure.
Now, am I missing anything here? I presume you know what happened if you were around?
I know what staff says because staff like me. Weirdly enough, because your mom doesn't.
It's not that hard. Yeah.
Your dad actually endorsed me recently, so that was nice to hear.
What'd you do?
According to him, I defended your family honor. Mostly, I just talked bad about one of the other academic families that was saying mean things to my girlfriend. But
That'll
your dad seems to think that was a step in the right direction. Your mother is not happy that Your mother is unhappy that I am not devoting more time to my magical studies, even though I have learned the knacks that make me good at the things I'm doing in my squirehood. This kid's going to be some sort of magic tech knight. Like that's his goal here. He's trying to be hybrid caster, hybrid melee character on his build, apparently.
How? And then he goes, no, that's off topic. Do you know anything else, anything weird that was up with my brother? Anyone who didn't like him?
You should talk to Florence in the stables. She has some ideas, and I'm not going to repeat them inside the house right now, if you know what I'm saying.
I know precisely what you are saying. Okay.
Yeah.
As for the off-topic thing, I will look to make sure that Vincent is still at the door, and then I will come back. How would you feel if I had been a part of a plan that had been formulating to, per se, make my mom not in charge of any of us anymore?
Hypothetically, I would think that this is a really good plan.
Okay. Hypothetically,
I assume that you would help make sure that the house would recognize our relationship more appropriately.
Hypothetically, if things were to hypothetically go the way that we would hypothetically like them to, your relationship would be of no issue at all, and you would be free to wed as long as you don't pull any punk shit.
I don't know how you define punk
I love
shit, but
Briar
didn't you
so
like
much.
take a chunk out of your like friend's face at the at the festival?
Okay, okay, I'll do the short run on that. Basically, people, like, you know, those things are rigged, right? You don't actually get like random drawn a partner. People pick their partners and they pay a lot of money. And Ari, who I just mentioned, has been like out for me, and I thought that they were gonna screw up.
He's real mad at you.
Yeah, whatever. I don't actually care. But it was, if I didn't do it, Hugo was gonna get hurt worse. So I was like, if I do a little flare, like, that is a lot better than like a serious injury. I took care of it. That's not important right now.
I was just seeing what we're defining as punk shit, because I
just don't hurt my sister.
Like, he looks legitimately kind of annoyed at, like, I've been with your sister for 4 years. I am a good man. I am not gonna... You left. Like, it's, like, he's not saying any of it, but he's giving that look like, you left, I've been here, and I do my job. I do work. And I'm tired of your family being mean to me because I'm lowborn. Like, he kind of, like, puffs up at you in that sense of, like, I've been here. I've taken good care of
I know.
my
All
girl,
I want you
and
to do is keep doing what you're doing. I'm not here to fight you right now. We are friends.
Say that. Then say that. Be supportive. I don't like it when your family is judgy with me.
I know. I don't like it when they're judgy with me either. That's why I left.
That's fair. That's legit. I'm not mad you left. You could have swung by and said hey every once in a while.
They have a guy who, like, mans the front gate that gives me a really weird look every time I come by. I actually snuck in once to get some of my fancy clothes. It, like, did not go awesome. That was actually the last time I saw Florence at the stables.
That's fair. Also, who's this Omar guy? Your mom is pissed.
Omar has everyone else gotten back?
Yeah, they basically kind of shut
outside?
back up.
Can I, like, shuttle everyone into this side room?
Yes, you can totally shuttle everybody into the side room.
This is Vidya, Babs, Vincent, Omar is Vidya's uncle, kind of all of our, like, uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He is cool,
Oh, he's the Almari dude?
boss.
He's the Almari dude. He has, like, beef with my mother. I don't know what it is.
She's real mad. Like real mad. Like, apparently... So what I've been able to put together is your dead uncle on the wall, you know, the one your mom always talks about how great he was. Yeah, Nikolai. Apparently, Omar unalived him?
I cannot confirm or deny that rumor. It is not the point of our current convergence.
I feel like Vidya's the kind of girl who's like, Uncle Omar, nah. Like, she's just a little bit, like, naive when it comes to Uncle Omar.
And I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
Listen, it happened before I was born. It happened before I was born, and my mother lies all the time. So, who knows?
Just a reminder, I'm a bounty hunter hired by Omar, so... yeah.
But yeah, no, it's very much like he's like, it sounds like he unalived him and took some of his stuff, and your mom never forgave him, is what I've been able to piece together about how yelly she was the moment she could get away.
Oh, did she freak out?
Freak out isn't... She was real mad, and the only reason I think she didn't at me is because, like, I was asking if she was okay, because I overheard it from outside the room, and she said she was fine, and then I left, but she was mad. Like, she was upset when you left. She was upset... No, she was upset when you left.
No, she wasn't. She wanted me gone. She screamed at me. It was horrible.
She was...
She told me to leave. So I finally left after someone tells you to go somewhere else repeatedly.
I get it. That doesn't mean she wasn't mad when you left. She was upset, like, in the sense of, like, this is upsetting to me. She is mad right now. I don't think I've ever seen your mother mad.
We can't take it back. Listen, we need to figure out what the hell happened. Because Sandra's right.
With Nicholas or with Augustus?
No, with Augustus.
Nikolai or-
If there
Okay,
was
that's-
blood, this isn't a lab accident. A lab accident would have been that he inhaled some stuff and passed out, or that, you know, he had some burns, but not blood. Lab accidents aren't bloody.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Sure. Okay. All right. I would speak to our stable friend. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take a walk. Let's take a walk.
Cool. Mm-hmm. All right. Taking a walk.
Can we chit
Go
chat
in.
on the way?
You can chit chat as much as you want. RP, whatever you would like. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna like teleport walk you. The walk will take as long as RP determines. So it could take centuries, or it could take, you know.
Did you find anything in there?
Can
Ooh, what's up, Logan?
oh, I was just gonna say, while we're walking, my thing is spying. Not spying. Spying is like looking and searching around. Is there anyone in this house that looks like they shouldn't belong here? Besides us, obviously. But, you know.
Oh, no, you all, to be really honest, you all look fine to belong here. You're in proper mourning attire. The person that looks, arguably, air quotes, the most out of place is Omar, because he's wearing 30-year-old fashion. But, like,
Okay.
everyone here seems to be where they're supposed to be. There isn't anything that stands out
Okay.
as they're not supposed to be here.
Okay. Just making sure there's not something I'm missing, because my big thing is hunting, and if I can't find
This place is
anything to hunt.
incredibly tidy. Like, the cleaning staff has come through here. This place is kept fairly academically sterile. It's a little, even like to you, it's a little off-putting. Like, it doesn't feel. It feels like a building. It does not feel like a home.
It's like a
feel-
museum. It's like when they make
Mhm.
dead people's houses, like, so that they can be toured.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. That is a great
Is it-
analogy of what it is like.
and I guess I'll ask Briar, as we're walking and we're chatting, is your home always this clean?
This is actually messier than it usually is, I guess, because of the chaos of yesterday.
Okay. I'll note that in note that up here.
Do you not keep your place like this?
No, not at all. To be honest, I haven't been back to my actual home for quite some time. I am terrified of walking into there, but that's just a whole nother. That's a whole nother time. We have this to deal with.
Did you guys
Alright.
find anything in there? Anything spicy?
Your mom's notebook written in code, kept in a secret compartment.
Which code?
I don't know. It's some kind of shorthand here.
So she hands you the book. That is not your mother's handwriting. as we
Yeah,
kind
first of all,
discussed.
that's not how my mom writes.
It is very
Okay.
much Augustus's handwriting.
Okay.
So your
Uh-huh.
mom has Augustus's book.
So, what my sister told me basically is that they are framing this like a lab accident, but it clearly wasn't, and that they cleared the lab so it could be reused again, which to me means that they cleared the lab because there was something that they didn't want people to find. This is probably what they didn't want people to find, or very least part of it.
Might have clues as to what Augustus was doing that caused your family to get angry.
I don't know. My sister also said that he wasn't like researching anything that, you know, or doing anything to piss them off, but I don't know, maybe he was, or maybe they were jealous or someone was jealous. I mean, my brother was, I don't even have the words. My brother is smart as hell. So,
Well, maybe this book will give us a direction.
I want to
So you can quickly tell, Briar, that this is not a lab. This is in a lab notebook, but this is not a lab book. This is a personal journal.
Okay. If I have to be less smart than Max right now. I want to skim it to see if there's like a cipher. Like, is there any kind of code like on like the back like inside the back cover or anywhere that would...
There is not a cipher in the book. As you go through it, there is not a cipher. As you kind of skim through it, though, you'll notice that it is written. You'll know this because you're this person's brother, and you were kind of close to Augustus, and while you were younger, you know that you and Augustus both enjoyed a lot of the same authors.
Yeah.
And you'll see certain phrases that from certain books that you both like kind of pop up as you're skimming it. So these are kind of stand-in codes at certain points in times. They usually appear at the top of a entry. So it is probably a book code where you're replacing letters based upon a page, based upon that. So you're going to need a couple of books that you're going to have to go through based upon the entry.
This is gonna take forever.
I mean, that depends on if you want to decode the thing from front to back.
How are you supposed to know what's important when it's all in code? Do any of the pages have like a visible stain or like a lot of handling where it's like worn or dog-eared?
None of it appears to be dog-eared at this point in time. You can tell that like it's not full, so like the last couple of pages are the last couple of pages. So this is his most recent journal probably because it's not a full journal.
Okay. Now, I don't think it would be too suspicious of me to go to my brother's room, but it would be very suspicious for you all to go there. So, I presume that maybe you all should talk to Florence, and maybe I should go find... I actually might even have a personal copy back at Omar's, but I'm not sure. He's alluding to some things that I know that he has. Had?
Go get what you need.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to go first in our groupings?
Um,
I think I will do the stable first, in all honesty. 'Cause that's
And Vidya will, just before, like, Briar leaves, will say, it might be best to work backwards to front with that journal, rather than forwards to back.
I'm gonna do, like, the most recent stuff to see what might have, take my... And he's, like, patting himself and, like, looking for, like, one of his personal effects. And he goes for, like, a dagger that he has that's engraved, and he goes, here, so she knows that you're with me when you talk to her.
So you head out to the stables, and hey, Babs.
What's up?
You're like, oh, that, like, because what was her name? We gave her a name. I believe we gave her a name. Florence. You're like, they gave the name Florence, but the moment you see this person, you're like, that's fucking Cecilia. That's who the fuck that is. Like, she might be going by Florence right now, but you know Cecilia when you see Cecilia. Cecilia is an information broker. And you were always wondering how Cecilia got such good information when she would sell it. And you're like, this bitch right here.
And I'll walk up with that face on and, like, just kind of, like, clicking my tongue, like, I fucking knew it.
And she looks at you like, what, ma'am? What can I do for you? Like, she clearly is playing the part of a humble servant. Like, do not blow my goddamn cover.
I'm just, like, looking around. Whatever. And just kind of, like, point back to Vidya. I think we have questions to ask you. You seem to be the one with all of the information. All the time.
I am but a humble... Like, this, by the way, woman is, like, in her 40s. So she's, like, she's in that rough 40s, too. Like, she's been here For as long as Briar can remember, she's been in the stables. Like, she was in her 20s when, like, early teens and 20s when Briar was born, and she's just been in the stables for, like, 20 years. But, like, you're like, this motherfucker. And she's
now
like,
you know where she lives.
now you know where she gets her info. That's what
Yes. Yes.
Vidya will approach and present the knife that Briar had given her.
You would like to see Briar's former steed, then? Not an issue. And she'll, like, take you back into the stables. AKA out of line of sight of people. Like, she'll take you to where the
Glorious.
horses are, and people can't overhear you.
Yes, thank you.
And you'll get back there, and she will, like, not necessarily turn on a dime, but she will be like, okay, first off, Babs, don't you say a damn word. Like, that's the first thing she says. You don't.
Oh, you should know each other.
Know me?
I do.
Yes. I bought this fan.
Well timed.
I
Well
bought it.
timed.
You bought it
I
just for
just-
this?
I bought it
Oh, great, now-
because games in general lately have really required a fan.
Excellent.
I love this.
Happy to
I
help
love
add
this.
to that motif. Like, don't, because I do know about that thing on Westbrook, and I will tell everybody.
Wait. Which thing on Westbrook? The old thing or the new thing?
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't anyway. You don't gotta threaten me.
Well, nice
Yeah,
to know that
I
we're
would-
among old friends.
We are. Vincent, how are you? You have clearly bought information off
Thanks
Cecilia
for
in the
the help.
past. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
she sells information about me.
Thanks for all the help.
You're welcome. Yep. I heard you. I heard you got a brand new cloak and a big title from the nobles.
He just nods. A little bit of red can be seen in his cheeks.
Fair enough. Moving on up in the world. Moving on up in the world. So I see you brought your friend, who clears to be fairly highborn. What can I do for you?
Information, and Leona, out of character, has forgotten what I was supposed to ask this lady.
What Augustus might have been up to?
Yes. We are seeking information about what Augustus might have been up to before his untimely and unfortunate death.
Yeah, his accident. So, there's a place that's currently disputed that is a house of ill repute.
It all leads back. It all leads back there. I told you, Vincent.
And Vivian just like turns to look at Babs because like there was that mention earlier of the House of Ill Repute when she found y'all, and she's just like,
Should
Go
have
on.
brought the axe. Anyway, yes, please go on.
Yeah, don't bring an axe here. They get real mad when you bring weapons. They're probably fuming over your friend's piece. But Augustus went there because he needed to blow off some steam, as many nobles do. And the poor sap probably, from what I pieced together, the poor sap fell in love with one of the people there. I don't know their name. I don't know the full story. But the way he would come back talking about it, he might have been on his way to make some poor life decisions.
ooh.
And I believe we'll cut away
My.
at this moment over to the room and the books. So you find a storybook that you and Vincent both shared that is denoted on the most recent entry. And once you, who have like an academic level of knowing what you're looking for, very quickly put this together. Because the issue is your mother has no interest in storybooks, so she wouldn't know the reference to the storybook. But you do. You know it quickly. And as soon as you see it, the cipher kind of comes to you. It's very easily like a word replacement cipher.
Okay.
And the most recent entry is Augustus just going on and gushing. Like, this is someone who is clearly writing about being in love.
When they write the fake love note in Oron High School Host Club, and it says "I'm in love," and they cut to it, and it's like the entire thing is written in pink pen. Like,
Yes. Oh my
Yep.
gosh. I love that show.
That's so cute.
Yeah, no, I'm in love. Yeah, no, for sure. But no, it's
Does
very
he
much he's
name-
written.
Does he name a name in this note?
He does not name a name in this entry.
Okay.
He just refers to her as her. And he makes the mention that once he's done with his most recent set of studies, that he's gonna kind of follow your example and leave. Like, he's gonna take the money from this endeavor, basically buy out this person's contract, and leave.
I think he suddenly feels very, very guilty that he set a precedent to do this, and he doesn't feel guilty because it's the wrong thing to do. It's the right thing to do, but he feels guilty because his brother is dead because of it. Are there any ladies' effects in this room? Like anything that might be hers?
Go ahead and roll me some sort of searchy type check. Which thing do you want to make for searching?
I think I'll probably use survey, because I think that's my best searchy thing. Yeah.
If
Yeah, I
you would
have
like to
survey.
describe some sort of childhood flashback where you know where your brother keeps things he hides and set a roleplay scene, I will give you the bonus dice if you can give me a good description of a childhood flashback.
Yeah. I think a thing that me Max missed out on as an only child is kind of like the camaraderie of it being like you against your parents. But that's something that when you're still children and you're not yet like old enough to understand like being pitted against each other, that there is like a larger sense of unity. And so in this flashback, you see the two of them kind of running in from a summer many years ago with some like sweets in a tray, as if they'd been chased
Some
by a servant
Turkish
or yelled at,
delights.
perhaps. And Augusta says, I have a place for these. I have a place for these. Wait. And kind of beneath his bed it is completely empty, kind of to avail suspicion, but he picks up the corner of one of the floor tiles and there is a kind of like a carved out spot. He says, the servants put this here apparently to hide booze? I don't know what that is, but I keep other stuff in here. And they slide most of the Turkish delights in there, but take 2 to eat for themselves.
Sweet. All right. I'm not even going to make you roll because you did a wonderful job of describing a childhood flashback, so you can just have this.
Yeah.
I like that for the sake of like camaraderie and storytelling. You go to that spot, and you open it up, and you'll find what appears to be a like handkerchief, a legal contract for like an actual buyout. Like he had written up the contract already to buy this out. So there is a name on there. So you have the name now.
Okay.
And it is Francesca Vash.
Okay.
And so you have the name of this working girl. And you also have another set of notes that are clearly knack theory notes. The thing he was working on was clearly a combat spell. So effectively your brother was working on a new weapon.
He was pissing them off. Okay, he was pissing them off twice. Great.
And it is the application of a lot of your family's theories, but used in a manner that could be weaponized. But the profitability of this would basically allow your brother to sell this and be free of your family.
That checks out. I guess this is something I don't think that they would... If they had known that this was here already, they would have taken it. So, he is going to take it. And
as you of course reach down there, you find like the last bit of wrappers from like 2 decades ago of like the Turkish delight wrappings as well, like because I like heartstrings and I want to pull on them.
Really needs to clean more. Oh, God, I'd say they'd kill him, but I think they already did. And I will take the stuff. I will take the book for the translations.
Well, you will denote that that's not the only book for translations. Like there are
Okay.
all sorts of little childhood books that like. So you would need to, if you wanted to translate this, you would have to go to like your library at Omar's
Yeah,
place
but these are
and
things that like are public, like publications that I'd be able to get. Okay.
Yeah, these are very easy to get. There, it's a lot of children's books that the help read to you, but your mother very much didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I will take that. I will take the stuff that was in the secret compartment, and if my brother has a like a cloak or a jacket, I will take it.
There are cloaks that you can go to in his
From the closet.
In his closet. You can take.
Yeah, I think maybe one that he never grew into, but I got buff because I became a Bravo, so it'll fit me.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So yes, you head downstairs and you meet back up with your compatriots who are coming back from the stables.
They killed my fucking
Can I ask Cecilia? Could I also just like maybe there's a little shy lady like. All right. Who owns this place? Who handed the deed over? Who started this shit, Cecilia? I gotta know.
Okay, cool. How you paying?
I don't know. I'm usually the one taking the payment.
Cecilia's over here looking to get paid.
I don't have a inventory in my character sheet, but whatever money's in my little thing, I just shake it.
Cecilia's like, that's not enough for all that information. Tell you what, if you want to meet up with me and she'll give you her usual broker place in a day or two, come together with about, enough florins and I'll make it happen. And she'll give you a number. It's a large number, but not an unattainable number. It's one of those things where you can go to Omar and be like, listen, I have a lead on information, but if this blows up in my face, you're going to be real mad at me.
Well, now it's not. Now it's in our mystery. We got to know all the things about this place.
Yeah.
It's relevant.
It's relevant.
Super relevant. It is relevant. Yeah. All right. So you'll meet up. You guys have been here probably about 90 minutes at this point in time, so making an exit after grieving and seeing the body is not unexcusable. But keep in mind you have not visited the body yet. It would be weird to leave without visiting the body.
Yeah, no, let's make sure we visit the body, please.
Yeah, I planned to go do that.
No,
I'm making sure for social constructs at this point in
Yeah,
time.
no social faux pas, please. I will make sure of that. Just saying.
Not a repeat.
So, it can be another walk and talk, perhaps. So, my sister, bless her, wrong. He's definitely doing things that pissed my parents off. Actually, he was gonna leave. He was gonna leave, and then without me, the house would go to my next youngest brother. So
your next youngest brother is very much been groomed by your mother.
Yeah.
In the sense of like to uphold the traditions and carry on. It's very much a situation of if you rejected your family, that he would, if it fell to him, if you like legally and openly rejected your claim, then it would fall to him. And your mother has been as close as sweet as she could be on Augustus and your third brother, who we need a name for. What is the name of your third brother?
My third brother is Cassius.
Cassius, fair enough.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
But Cassius, I know, that's all I thought too.
I was gonna do them
Because-
in alphabetical order so that they were A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but then you named my sister Sandra.
I did because I thought it was a good name.
It is a good name.
Yeah. So your Cassius is very would follow in your mother's footsteps, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why he's confused. It's like this almost kind of, I mean, I guess I have to look at him. It tells me almost exactly that my parents did this. I just don't understand why they would call for me. I'm perfectly uninvolved. Cass is like their perfect heir.
Don't you have to
Sometimes
legally say no before they can do that?
I already left technically. I'm sworn to House Almari.
Well, they still have to do it legally, and they have to do it above board, and sometimes
Otherwise, it would
family
look suspicious.
And sometimes family loves to push buttons and play games.
At
It's
this
not your
point for
fault.
drama, can I say that we walk up and look upon the body?
Oh,
Sure.
Oh,
it's not your fault.
Your brother is displayed very pristinely, probably in clothes that were tailored to him after his death. He is kind of in that display coffin situation. Instead of it being like a coffin, it's almost that glass layout. It's clearly the mourning and layout situation. And yes, so there is that.
Paid any attention to you, bud, they'd know that you don't like your. And he pulls out one strand of his hair to come down, and twists that. That's where I get it from. Does it look like he has any makeup caked on, to cover
No,
a trauma wound? Okay.
it does not. You can tell he's under the effect of magical knacks to preserve the body, but outside of that, he looks carried forward slightly pristine, like the Undertaker came in and did a wonderful job.
They closed his eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he keeps opening his mouth to speak and then not talking.
What?
All right, no, that's it then. It's not like he can hear me. So
That doesn't mean that you can't have a moment to say the things that you need to say.
we should go, and he'd want us to get his. He has last wishes that he didn't follow through on, so we're gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it.
Fair enough. As you are exiting, not the building, but as you're kind of exiting, Omar Omar's his way into existence, but not in the same ostentatious way you're used to. He just kind of slips in behind you, which is probably really disconcerting for Vincent because he's stayed out of your eye line and just kind of yeah, you're used to him entering a room and being Omar. This is the exact opposite of that. This is somebody who's I approached from your blind side and you can't see me until I'm within arm's reach of you. So it lends credence to all those rumors, but it throws you off a bit because you've never really seen that side of him.
I imagine for Vincent, it's I have known this man for up to 10 years, and not once has he done this to me. What does he know about me? What can he do? Oh, God.
Yeah. But he'll look to Briar and put a hand on Briar's shoulder and be like, what is your thoughts? Do we need to continue to move forward with your proposal, or has this matter been laid to rest for you?
She needs to go.
Very well.
I need
will-
you to have someone deliver the location of your house or the directions to my sister Sandra so she can speak to us before the ball.
the matter of who and how we speak before the ball can be made here in just a moment. I am still Omar, so give me one moment. And as you guys kind of approach, there's this moment of like, he kind of has you wait in the foyer, and because your mother is back up at the top of the balcony in the foyer waiting to greet more guests. And there are probably 24 people here from various things. So this is a social occasion, but this is one of those very interesting social occasions. And Omar will approach your mother and put out a hand, which is very much like the social play. And
I did this. I did.
Mm-hmm. And she has this look of like because micro expressions, so like her jaw tightens, and she takes it, and then Omar speaks up very loudly so the room hears. And he does so very politely in a very controlled tone. And he goes, at this your time of mourning, House Almaria extends a hand. We would like to formally invite you to be our guest at the spring gala, or sorry, at the summer gala, and we accept an invitation that we will attend to these matters for you in your time of grief. Now, this, for anybody who's like open, would know, like if you know things like this, is very clearly a good gesture. In this gesture of this, your mother is placed in the position of rejecting a major house because no other house has extended this gratitude at this point in time, and basically saying, oh no, we can manage our own affairs even in our time of grief. Or basically she's acknowledging the fact that to a degree we can make some sort of alliance. And she legitimately looks surprised. Like, this is a moment of like, I did not plan on this ever at all. This is not something I would do. And she kind of looks to Briar for a moment.
Briar is like upon the sympathy snacks. A piece of rugula in the mouth kind of brings it down when the eye contact is made.
Oh.
Do you mouth anything to her? Do you make a plea? Do you say anything? Or do you just kind of meet the gaze?
I think he makes the motion of like pushing a chess piece forward to her with his hand.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. At that, she kind of responds, I appreciate your magnanimous gesture, and if we are in need, we will call upon you, but we cannot at this time announce that we will be attending as your guest. It's kind of this moment of like, I've left the door open because it's something I can do, but I have not made a full rejection. But it basically, she goes on to say, like, in our grief, any decision we make right now would be, unacceptable, yada, yada, yada. Like, it goes from, like, she looks to Briar in that sense of, like, okay, is this a thing? And when you're, like, chess piecing movement, she's like, like, this is a game. This is not you actually extending a hand of friendship. So there's, like, this moment, and then there's that kind of exchange. And that's kind of the end of that situation.
Also, Omar didn't tell us that he was going to do that, did he?
Nope.
Okay, making
sure. He just
sure.
Omar'd his way through life. He used the social construct to generate a situation that either A, can make your mother look bad, or B, forces them to attend as your guest moving into the Spring Festival, which
Wonderful.
publicly places them in what appears to be a public alliance.
Okay, cool. Then I'm happy with that.
Yeah. It is much like you said, either way you lose. This is one of those situations where your mother has now, if the rumor mill spins it, it can be spun as a rejection of a major house, which then can openly open the door to shadow war, effectively. It opens the door to, we can now strike out at this minor house because they have made offense against us. Or, and she did so in the most polite way possible, so it's harder. But it's still noticeable that if somebody stokes the rumor mills or starts talking shit, that this can be seen as a slight if Omar wants to blow it out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Omar. So is Omar capable of blowing things out of proportion?
Yes.
Nah, not
Oh.
Omar.
Omar.
Never.
Omar's the king of drama. Are you kidding me?
Omar loves his drama. So yes, as you all exit, you're presented with the appropriate thing. The caller calls out you're exiting. You all make your way back over to your black velvet carpet, which, by the way, they take. Like your servants like roll it back the fuck up because they're not leaving it there for other people. Like
Good.
Good shit.
They can bring their own black velvet carpet.
Yeah.
if you go, everybody's a real gangster until everybody's a gangster until a real gangster walks in the room. Like that's what that says. And Omar's kind of a real gangster. So yeah, they proceed to exit, and then Omar looks at you as we lose Logan again. He's running away. He's just running away.
I don't know.
So you guys sit back down in this, and and Omar looks to you and goes, "You were saying, you needed some arrangements made for your sister."
My sister is a good egg. My sister is a good egg. She is dating this guy who I also always liked, but I like him more now. And after what you've just done, I think I actually have a better idea. Would it be possible to find out to which knight Matthew is squiring, and to have him invited to the ball? Hence, they would be in attendance without my mother affiliated with their name.
I could see what's done. Sure. We can look into that. Did you come back and get no lag? Because that's about to be funny.
I don't see you. I don't see Logan.
Oh, I don't see Logan either.
I see Logan.
If he's saying
You
things,
still have a
they're
lag.
not going to be on stream because I do not see or hear him.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to.
The real
Deal with
Logan
that
was the
real
friends we made along the way.
He's gonna jump out and jump back
The
in.
whole time.
I hope that
Logan's
you
not
laughed
been
at
here the
that.
whole time. Logan's just been a figment of our imagination. It's actually just been the four of us this entire game.
Oh my god, don't do that to me.
But no. So, yes. Basically, he'll take the arrangements and start seeing those things arranged. He'll start also seeing to the arrangement at the ball. I think we'll, depending on how much time we have when we record next, we'll probably bang this out in the next 1 to 2 episodes and call our adventure after that. Are you back? Can we see Logan now?
I see Logan.
I can see everyone. Can you
Still
all
a
hear me?
delay, but you are here.
Still
and
a
I
delay,
hear.
but better. It's no longer 5 seconds. It's down to 2.
Technical difficulties are evil.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are.
They're the worst.
But I
They get
believe
over
we're good to wrap part 1 of our second arc here with the intrigue.
Yay!
So I'll go in reverse and start with Taylor, and Taylor can tell everybody where they
Hi.
can find the Taylor.
Yes,
on the
I
internet.
am the Taylor. Are we all just adding the to our titles now?
No, just you and Logan.
Oh no.
I already have
but-
it on mine, so
That's true. That's true. You
Yes.
labeled it. But I'm Taylor at _potato_ on the internet. You can find me playing games, running games over on High Shelf Collective is kind of my main home, making cool things. Also over on 2000 Tales for Big Gay Dice Game on Tuesdays, and Monster of the Week Weird Web on Fridays. And then also you can see me bumping around, obviously, here in Lost Caravan pretty frequently. That's where I live. Leona.
Oh, that's me. I was not expecting to go next. Hi, I'm Leanna. You can find me on Twitter at the Leanna Maple. That is still the best place to find me and keep up with what on earth it is that I am doing, such as being an Apochromatic, being on live streams, all that kind of stuff, and more. So just find me there. And Max.
Hi, I'm Max. You can find me anywhere that I want you to find me on the internet at Arcane Goth. You can find me on Mondays with Take Your Roll, doing a dual system Vampires versus Vampire Hunters stream, which is also POC led / majority, both of those things. You can find me on Fridays doing Growing of the Dim on Critical Misses, and I think that's it right now. You can also find me, as I think Taylor put it first, bumping around here, often enough. and now you can see where you can find Logan.
Hi, I am Logan the GM. You can catch me mostly on Twitter, because that's mostly where I talk about things. Although at the moment, I am on a Twitter hiatus, so maybe you just can't find me. Although you can find me on Tales from the Table every other Friday, where I'm in an Expanse the RPG game. It's fun. I play a preacher man, and that's a fun time there. And I will hand it off to Paul.
Hey everybody, you can find me at PaulMarch6 on Twitter, and you can also find me on Response Team Omnicron, which is a Lancer actual play podcast. It's like some people call it if Battlestar Galactica had its own red versus blue, and it's Lancer, and it's awesome, and it's a super fun time, and it's a great cast of really cool people. So you should check that out as well. You can also sometimes find me on High Shelf Collective. I think that's the other place that I should pop up anymore now. And then here on APOC, where I'm like in a lot of games or helping with a lot of things. So it's been great. We have one, maybe two more episodes. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. We're flying by the seat of our pants. But so far, this has been pretty good for everybody. We're going to wish you all adieu, goodbye, and good night.
Bye.
Bye.